Hi everyone, welcome to the next video on this sort of fruits page from Small Victories by Johanna Basford, and we have got a pair of strawberries with some flowers to do today. Sorry, I'm rustling a piece of paper very loudly. I'm just going to bring the strawberries into shot. Sorry, that is the gooseberries. Let's put the strawberries here so we can have a look at what we've got. 2 strawberries, leaves and flowers. So I've printed out this picture so we can see. So we've got the strawberries and the flowers. Now, if you look carefully at the strawberry, you can see that there are lots of little dots on it, which are the seeds. And in some areas they shine, but it doesn't shine down in those dots where the seeds are. There's also a bit of shine on that edge. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have got here. We have got some seeds drawn on. Now we can't do a shine on the edge, I don't think, because we've got nothing in the background, so it would just look like we'd forgotten to colour a little slither, so we don't want to do that. We could bring in some dots, but we've got a few drawn on, so I think we'll just use those as our dots. And yeah, let's go for it. So I'm just going to fold it so that we can put it aside as a reference here. And let's have a look at the red to start with. So the red is pinkish. There are several different shades. If you have a look carefully, you can see it's quite pale down here. Obviously that's white, and then it's a little darker here, and then this bit is significantly darker. So we need a few different shades. So let's start with a lighter one and then build up really. Yeah, we can start, I think, with the deep red. We'll try this. I'm going to use it really lightly. So just putting on a light layer. I just needed to move my piece of paper so I could see, not this piece of paper, so I could see my tablet. My son has been messaging me, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, I think he's okay now. He's as I was saying in the last video, if you saw it, he was in his class, his lecture, but the tutor hadn't turned up, so he decided that he would leave and just get the train. So basically he left here at what time did he leave? I think it's a bit darker on this side and in here, so I'm going to put that in. Yeah, he left here at 11:20. Got the 12 o'clock train, got in at 12:20, had a no, 12:30, had a 20 to 30 minute walk to uni, sat in his class which began at 1:15, sat there for an hour and then decided he would come back. So he's probably going to get the 3 o'clock train. He'll be back about 4. So I'm thinking it makes sort of sense if this bit's darker, because there'd be more shadow there, because this one is straight, it's a little bit different, and having left that pale like that, I feel it's not actually making sense. It would make more sense for the edges to be pale because they're higher, more towards the sky. So I am going to change that slightly and make this bit darker. So we have to slightly adapt, basically. You can't copy the picture exactly. Let's make that bit a bit darker too. Okay, so we have a little bit of a basic shape down there, and I'm going to put the black on. I just realised I haven't put my pencils away from the gooseberries. I'm just going to pop them away. So I need to find some black to put on. I think, yes, because what I'm thinking of, sorry, I'm being a bit vague, is that the strawberry seeds, sometimes they're yellow and sometimes they're black. And in this picture they don't really have a colour, but I'm going to colour them in black, I think, but maybe not really, really dark. just a little bit. So I could put about 4 more layers, 5 more layers, burnish it in, make it really dark and shiny, and I'm thinking, no, I think I'm just going to leave it reasonably light. If I can get the colour to go down on the page. Here we go. And now back to our dark red, deep red, sorry. And just putting a bit more down. I probably ought to grab a darker pencil really, but I just want to go over this a little bit more. There we go. Now let's go darker. I'm not sure if that is darker. I think we'll go with the middle cadmium red because it's a lot darker. There it is. And then we'll try and really get into this darker down here. And there'd be some shade underneath this leaf area, but I'm not going to worry about that yet too much. Is a train going by now? It's not my son's train. He wouldn't have got on yet. Hopefully he'll let me know when he gets on. Right, I could put a hard bit of this under the petals, but I'm thinking in the picture it's really quite dark, almost black. So I'm going to use the black for this. Sorry you can't see, there we go. But very carefully. So I'm just going slowly. I don't want too much, just enough to show some shadow. Now on these edges where it's quite pale, I feel like I want my pencil to be more intense without adding any more colour, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be darker. I just don't want to see the paper through. So I'm going to use a blending pencil for this. You could use a white if you don't have a blending pencil. This is a Prismacolor colourless blender. Now I'm going to have to be quite careful because I don't want to blend any black in. I just want to move that red around a little bit so that I can't see white paper. There we go, just a little bit. Okay, now we've got flowers to do, we've got leaves to do. Let's do the leaves first, they're easier. Now our leaf colour that goes from black in there to almost white there, and these are sort of mid-green, so we can actually I think pretty much choose I am thinking I might start with a darker colour and go lighter. I'm going to start with the permanent green, not the olive this time, the actual permanent green, and do what I think would be the darker parts, so the beginning of the stem and the end of the stem, for example, there and there, and then here where this overlaps and is near the bottom, same on this one. And I'm going to try and sort of fade it so that when I bring in my next green, it will hopefully just seamlessly blend. It's not easy, but you can try and then you can layer up some more if it hasn't quite worked. I think for these we would have some shadow here under the flowers, and then less towards the tip. Same with this one. It's quite meditative, this, I think. Just slow, gentle colouring when it's all very similar. It's rather nice. sun shining again. I was going to pop out this afternoon, but there was too much stuff going on this morning because I also wanted to make a few videos. So in the end, I'm staying in to do this, and I shall do the shopping I needed tomorrow. It's not urgent, and I've got to go out tomorrow anyway, so I can do it then. And although I would have enjoyed a sunny walk and the exercise would have done me good, I'm decided to do this. So now I've grabbed the leaf green next. It's only very slightly lighter. Oops, can't hardly see it. Now on these I might just, where's my brush? There we go. Might just go over what we've done and then gently add the rest of the colour. There we go. Now I have grown strawberries myself, and I'm sure their leaves are usually darker than this, but I am trying to go with these. I mean, that's the underside of the leaf, I guess. So, you know, but I'm quite enjoying this delicate colour as well. And of course, with your own picture, you have your artistic license to colour it however you wish. You could do your leaves pink if you want to. How many of you are horrified? Won't catch me doing that. Not with the strawberry plant. I have done pink leaves before, but it has to be part of a page where I've decided to go a little bit different, you know. I wouldn't just do lots of green leaves and suddenly a pink one. Although you'll probably all tell me that there are trees with pink leaves. I'm sure you're all right. But yeah. Now these flowers are actually, the centres are lines with a dot of pollen on the end. So, I could do, I know, we'll get quite a vibrant yellow because they really are very vibrant, aren't they? So I'm going to use this one, which is the dark cadmium yellow, and do them very, very bright. Now these don't exist, but it's because they've got these standing out bits with dots that Johanna's drawn them, I think. I think I'm just going to ignore those. And remember how we did a white flower right on our first picture on this page with grey. Now if we look at these white flowers, there's definitely greys in them. So I'm going to use, is it a warm grey or cold grey? I'm going to use cold grey 2 this time. Just checking I've got the right one. Cold grey 2. And I'm looking very carefully at these petals, and they're definitely a little bit darker in the middle and then lighter coming up with a very white outside. So basically just a bit of colour, a bit of grey in the centre. Like that. Now with our last white flowers we actually coloured them in white, and we'll do the same again. Just making sure the end of my white is clean. So I'm going to colour the very edges with the white pencil so they look whiter than the paper. So paying particular attention to these ones which actually overlap the paper. Some of you might have white paper in your books anyway. I think the colour tint varies depending on the location. There we go. And I'm also going to use some of my Sakura Jelly Roll pen for these centres, because I think we can soften around there. If we put a few dots in, it'll look a bit more like the sort of polyny look that you get with that. Obviously it's not going to look that realistic because of the way that it's drawn and the way I've coloured it, but there we go. So what you could also do with your white is put a little bit of white onto the strawberry as well. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to put a little bit here. It's not, doesn't want to show up. No, doesn't. A little bit there, and then I'm going to dab it with my finger so it's a bit less harsh. And the same with this one, put a little bit there. And then just dab. There we go. So there are our strawberries. I feel after looking at what I've done here with all these different plants so far that I feel like I need to practice my leaves a bit more, that they don't look at all realistic, whereas I'm beginning to get better with my fruit. So maybe that is my next challenge. But anyway, here are my strawberries. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.